Can you imagine walking into a courtroom and telling the judge, no jail time for me. I know I took Nancy Pelosi's podium, but no jail time for me. I got a future. You know how these people talk like they're the only ones on the planet with a future. If your ass woke up in the morning, you got a future, okay? you got your whole day is your future. But give me a break here. So this Florida man, insurrectionist, carried Nancy Pelosi's podium. He wants no jail time, judge. Tells judge that he's happily married to a doctor and is a primary caregiver to children. So that's what his wife does for a living. Well, you sure wasn't concerned about that when you stood in Nancy Pelosi's office with her podium. You weren't concerned about none of them things. But it's just unbelievable what these. Can you imagine if a black man commits a crime and stands in front of the judge and says, "Look, judge, I don't want no future jail time, okay?" Okay. Okay, so let's get into this Florida overly privileged man. So, this man was photographed, and many of you probably saw this photograph because I've seen it before. Smiling at a news photographer camera while carrying House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's podium through the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, is seeking a sentence of time served, probation, and community service. Federal prosecutors countered with a dueling request for 90 days behind bars. Johnson, his name is Adam Johnson, then 36 of Parrish, Florida, was identified by his own social media connections after a Getty's image photograph captured his image during the early stage of the breach. In other words, people ratted him out. That's how most of them got caught. People ratted him out. Johnson's image was one of the first that was identified on January 6th, making him one of the notable faces of the deadly and destructive pro Trump siege. A statement of facts filed in connection with Johnson's plea. Johnson traveled to D.C. from Florida to attend Donald Trump's scheduled political rally, according to the statement. He carried a knife that he discarded near the Canadian embassy before heading to and entering the Capitol. The statement of facts continues. Following the speech, Johnson and person one, another unnamed person, began marching to the Capitol with the crowd. While marching, Johnson heard someone say, "Pence didn't do it." Johnson also saw police running towards the Capitol and hearing members of the crowd shout, "They broke into the Capitol." Johnson and person one, whoever he was with, started running towards the Capitol as well. The statement says that Johnson witnessed police in shields and riot gear using tear gas and flashbangs and other violent, and he saw other violence break out between the police and the protesters. Johnson, per statement facts, recorded video of an individual grabbing a baton from a police officer. Johnson was hit with some of the tear gas and said it was rough. Johnson climbed the scaffolding, recorded another video, and sent it to Facebook. So he was sending his videos, while he was live and in action to Facebook. Well, no wonder why you got caught. He climbed down and ultimately entered the Senate wing door. The statement of facts continue. He attempted to locate Pelosi's office, but a door was locked. Her staffers had barricaded themselves in another office nearby, according to statement of facts. Johnson posed for photos with a few signs inside of the Capitol complex and ultimately came across Pelosi's podium. The statement of facts continue at length to describe the now infamous photo of Johnson. Johnson's attorneys on Friday was asking the judge to sentence the admitted criminal to a sentence of time served following a term of probation of 12 months and $500 restitution, 100 hours of community service. Judge, this is how I want to be punished. This is how you should punish me. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine these black men that get, even the ones that are there and didn't even commit a crime, get up and talk to the judge like that? Just imagine, y'all. These folks are getting probation, a few weeks behind bars, and we got innocent black men that are spending 40 and 50 years behind bars over something that never happened. And these folks really did it, and they just want some probation and let me go on with my life. Just amazing. Johnson was arrested on January 8th, 2021, just 2 days after the siege and after he returned home to Florida. Well, maybe you posting these wild, violent videos on your Facebook, maybe that pretty much gave you away. Okay, he was released on January 11th, and a defense sentencing memorandum indicates that he had been on pretrial supervision in the Middle District of Florida since then. Defense says that his preemptive sentence is 0 to 6 months behind bars based on the severity of the crime to which he pleaded guilty and relevant federal sentencing guidelines. Any term of probation should not be more than 3 years, the defense continued. After bemoaning the viral nature of the photograph of Johnson and the fact that Johnson was he claims he was only in the Capitol for 30 minutes. This is what he claims. Now, if you break into a house, ladies and gentlemen, does it make you less guilty if you broke in the house and you only went in there for 10 minutes and left? Or are you guilty regardless? I love how these folks, they all keep using that time factor. I only walked in there for 2 minutes. What if I break in the house in the middle of the night and I just go in there for 2 minutes? Does it make it okay? Y'all let me know in the comment section. Since time is a factor, then can't we use that in all cases of people breaking and entering in places they should not have done it? Your Honor, yes, I did break in there, but I was only in there for 2 minutes. I was only in there for 30 minutes, Your Honor. I mean, 30 minutes. Have you ever heard this before for any other crime prior to the insurrection? Have you ever heard anybody go to court and say that? Yeah, I did break in there, Your Honor, but I was only in there for 30 minutes. Yes, I did knock over the 7-Eleven, but I was only there for 2 minutes. I took what I needed and I left. I mean, like time is supposed to mean something. Oh, these people. Oh, these people are something else. He was only in there for 30 minutes. Johnson's attorney then noted a series of letters of support. Whatever. Um, Interesting footnote in the sentencing memorandum suggests Johnson may have wished to turn his notoriety into fundraising efforts for his own personal causes. Elsewhere, the document says Johnson declined numerous invitations for personal appearances to focus on family matters. Well, only if you would have focused on family matters on January 6th. You wouldn't be trying to tell a judge what your jail, you shouldn't have jail time. I mean, who the nerve? It also says Johnson's family received death threats. His wife, medical practice suffered financially, and that longtime friends will no longer speak to him or his family. It further argues that Johnson shoulders a lesser degree of culpability than others, according to the privilege. Unfortunately, he received considerable attention simply because, the he's walking around with her podium, Nancy Pelosi. The defense document suggests, arguably, if he latched onto some other piece of government furniture for his photo opportunity, jail time would not even be considered. How about not touching anything that don't belong to you? Weren't you taught that as children? But then again, the insurrections, they act like they didn't even have home training. So, moving on. Federal prosecutors wrote otherwise. They're asking for 90 days in jail, 1 year of supervised release, and a $5,000 fine, 500 in restitution, and 60 hours of community service. Oh, well, that's a lot more than what his attorney is asking for, that's for sure. But boy, what a stark difference when they go to court for committing crimes and when people in the Black community got to go to court. It's all kinds of issues with them serving time. You notice that this is with all of them across the board. And some of the ones that are behind bars, they are trying to appeal their way and get new trials and get out of there. And, oh, I can't be in jail. Well, don't anybody sitting in jail feel that way? They can't be there either. This is unbelievable. He don't want no jail time. He's letting the judge know, time already served. I don't want to go to jail. Judge, no jail time for me. I'm special. I'm privileged. Oh boy. Mm-mm-mm. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.